Hello everyone, welcome to Help Yourself ME CFS. I'm talking today about rest and resting and how key it is to healing and recovering from chronic fatigue. Now certainly for me, rest was a foreign concept. I used to rest when I slept, but while I was awake I was busy. There was things to do, wasn't there? There was priorities. Even when I was sat down, I was probably doing something. I was sorting something out, or emailing, or texting, or doing something like that. So when I became ill and I was told I needed to rest, I really didn't know how to. It wasn't in my day. It wasn't a thing that I thought about doing. And certainly when I was told that I had to rest before I got tired. Do you know, it was just completely foreign and something that I just wasn't used to doing. So it's took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that rest has to be part of my day, not just when I was so exhausted that I couldn't tolerate any sound or light, or I couldn't stand up straight anymore, then I would go and rest. Not that. It's resting and listening to your body, I suppose. Listening to your body and just getting used to what those little messages are telling you, what those first signs of you've had enough of this and it's time to withdraw. I spent the first year or so battling with the fact that this has happened to me. It was so hard. There was so many appointments to attend. I felt like I was fighting my corner all the time because I had to get things sorted from a work point of view. And I felt very frightened. My health had gone, my brain had gone. Everything that I thought was me wasn't there anymore, and I couldn't do any of the things I used to do before. So I did spend quite a long time wrestling with all of that. And I think that's just a process, and it will be there in varying degrees for varying lengths of time with everyone. When I was able to let go of that and actually accept that this has happened, get some understanding about what had led up to that, why was I in this place, why had my body let me down, I suppose is how I felt. But I understood that actually my body hadn't failed me. It hadn't let me down. What it was trying to do was keep me alive and keep me safe and survive. So I had lived my life up until that point without knowing it, completely depleting all of my resources and my energy supplies through varying different routes that I just didn't know I was doing. Stress, working too hard, probably eating the wrong types of foods to a certain degree. That was the wrong type of food for me. Also, my negative thoughts that I didn't quite get a handle on, and I didn't realise were dragging me down further. There was lots of things. Also my high standards. You know, I had very high standards for myself and for other people, and trying to make everything perfect all of the time is just completely exhausting. So once I understood what had led up to my crash when I became ill very quickly, I could then start and have some acceptance about the situation I was in, and some compassion for my body. It was just trying to keep me well, and as well as I possibly could, with the various things that it was doing, symptoms it was producing, and mechanisms within my body. So I remember a time when I'd actually had this realization that my body is really struggling here, and I need to do all that I can to help it. I said to, I think it was a GP, that I'd accepted it, that I'd come to actually a good place and I'd accepted it. And maybe it was the way I said it, but this particular GP said, oh no, don't accept it, don't lie down and give in, you must fight. You must fight and solve this and keep on trying. And that's exactly what I was going to do, was find a way for me to heal, but without the fight, without the struggle, without the blame that just keeps you feeling bad, and also keeps you feeling unsafe and triggers your stress response all the time. So I was able to accept where I was and start from a very basic daily routine, because I didn't have to do anything really beyond feed myself and do a few things perhaps in the house. I didn't have, there was no pressure on me. I wasn't able to work. So I could start to incorporate some of this advice that people were telling me once I'd realised I had to just let go of all of that rubbish and all of the blame and the bad feeling, and just help my body to heal. And we talked last time about how movement is so important, but getting the right balance between the amount of movement and the amount of rest is really key, so that you stop before you're tired. You build in rest breaks. It's what they call in pacing, of course, that we all have heard. So to vary your day between activity and rest, to have a small amount of time doing one, and then rest as much as you like, or as much as you need to. This helps to avoid the activity and doing till you're completely exhausted, and then the relapse and the re-emergence of symptoms, and the days that it takes, days or weeks or months that it takes to recover from that, depending on how you are and how exhausted you become. And then getting a little bit of energy back and doing something again. Oh, yippee. And I mean, I know that feeling and that temptation that there is, that, oh, thank goodness I feel a bit better today. I've got some energy. What shall I do? What shall I do with it? How shall I spend this energy? And you do as much as you can, and then, oh, I'm exhausted again. Oh no, I've got to recover. Oh, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, I know. It's so hard to just feel like you're zigzagging between feeling okay and then relapsing, and then doing and then relapsing again. And you know, we are told, aren't we, to try and find that baseline where you can do a bit and not tip over into relapse. When you do relapse, and I used to be, I used to think I'd failed because I would relapse. And that's not true. You're just learning. You're just learning about what you can manage, what you can do, what your body is capable of. And this is new. This is all new, because we know that before, when we were well, we could do all sorts. And so this is learning about a new body. And that body is going to heal, and that body hopefully in future will be able to do more. But just now I have to find out what I can do and just do that so that I don't relapse. And you know, it's quite damaging in a way, relapse. Don't be scared of it, because it's normal for your body to be completely depleted of energy because you've had so much energy in your purse that day and you've spent it all. It means then that all the chemical processes and the systems and the organs and your brain and everything has to survive on very little, and that's incredibly stressful for your body. So if you can avoid relapsing, it will help your recovery. And so acceptance is so important, so that when you do rest, you rest with a feeling that I'm doing this for the good of me, for the good of my body, and aren't I comfortable, and I've got all my things around me, and I'm safe here, and all those kind of good thoughts, instead of, oh no, I'm going to have to rest because I'm exhausted, this is awful, this is so frustrating, this is not fair, and all of that anguish that stops you from resting properly because you've been forced to do it. So if you can make it your choice that you do something and then you rest for a bit. So you might say, right, well, that sounds all well and good, but how do I rest when my body feels like it's ready to explode because it's vibrating and I feel wired? How can I rest when I'm in so much pain? How do I rest when my mind is on the go all the time? And I understand that, I get that. So next time, in the next video, that's what we'll talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye now.